An agent can roll back your deploy, scale your database, flush a cache. Half of them all depends on. The only question that matters is which of those you let it do without asking. Get that line right and you're safe. Get that line wrong and you'll find out 2:30 in the morning for sure. Everyone is asking me the same question this year, and they're asking it wrong. The question they ask is, how much can we automate? The better question, the one that actually keeps you out of trouble, is what are we allowed to automate without a human in the loop? Because here, what is happening, the agents can act now, not just investigate, not just suggest, act. They can roll back a deploy, they can scan a service, they can restart the thing, drain the node, flip the flag, and the pressure to let them do it without asking questions is enormous because asking is slow. The whole premise of this wave is speed, speed, speed. So let me give you a model I actually see and I actually use because it's very, very simple. Enough to run in your head, and it's never, ever once let me down. You do not decide automation by how confident the tool is. You decide by its blast radius. So how much damage the action does if it goes wrong. And I want to be clear about why confidence is the wrong axis, because it makes the mistake almost everybody makes. A tool can be 99% sure and still be the wrong thing to let that you run on its own. If the 1% takes down all your payments in the morning, you're not managing an average case, are you? You're managing the worst case. So confidence tells you how often it is right. Blast radius tells you what actually happens the day it goes wrong. And only one of those two things ever ends up in front of your customers. So low blast radius, the gate is open, let it run. If an agent wants to restart a stateless service that is already unhealthy, and the worst case is it restarts a thing that was going to restart anyway. So just let it. Do not make a human approve that in the middle of the night. That's ridiculous. It's the exact toil that we're trying to kill for automation and agents. High blast radius. Now this is the clincher. So the gate is closed. If the action can take down payments, delete data, touch every customer at once, then a human should decide almost every time, no matter how sure the machine is, not because the machine is stupid, because the cost of it being wrong just once is a cost you just can't take back. And in the middle, the gate is conditional. It runs, but a human tells it what it did, but it tells a human what it did, and a human can undo it, automate the action, keep a person able to reverse it. So let me make that concrete, because it's easy just to nod along and hard to apply at 3 a.m. So picture two incidents on the same night. The first, an agent sees a stateless worker stuck and in a bad state. It restarts it. Worst case, it restarts a thing that was already going to be restarted anyway. So like I said, low blast radius, the gate is open, and you should be glad that it did not wake anyone up, to be fair. In the second, an agent decides the fastest way to relieve pressure is to scale the primary database down and flush the cache out. Half of your services are depending on that. It might even be right, but if it's wrong, you've turned a slow night into an outage that touches every customer you have. High blast radius, gate is closed. A human in the loop. No matter how confident the agent sounds, same night, same tool, two different complete answers, and the only thing that changed was how much damage was on the table. So notice what this model is really doing. It's not automating decisions, it's automating actions and keeping the decisions that carry real consequence with the people who answer for them. Because when it goes wrong, and one day it will go wrong, a machine can't stand in front of your manager, of your MD, and review it on its own, and own it, cannot be accountable. Only a person can. So the gate on anything that matters stays exactly where accountability already lives, with a human. And that is the whole thing. I'm not anti-automation. Of course, I've been doing it for years. It's the opposite. As we get into, and we are pushing hard on AI and agents, automate everything. The blast radius lets you automate, right? Or lets you run by an agent. And be honest about the line where you stopped automating the task and you started giving away that accountability, which you were never allowed to give away, right? So just remember that. So, and if you're giving away accountability, you was never supposed to give away. I've forgotten about that several times. So my hard stop for this week. So here is what I want you to do this week. Take your top 5 automated remediations, the ones that already fire without a human, or the ones somebody wants to make fire without a human, and write them down. Yes, with a pen. And next to each one, put one word: low, medium, or high blast radius. Be very, very honest. Not how confident you are, but how much damage it will do if it goes wrong. Then, next to the highs, write one more thing: the name of the person who owns the gate when it fires. A real name, not a team, and not a rota. Who answers for this one when it goes wrong? If you get a high blast radius action and you cannot write a name, you've just found the most dangerous automation on your estate. Not because it will misfire, but because when it does, nobody in the organization has agreed to catch it and own it. That's critical, because it'll be on you when it happens. Right, now, that's the idea, that's the habit. And now for the part I always look forward to every week, which is the signal check. A few of your questions, the real ones, things you've got stuck on. There's no script, it's no hard stop, it's just you talking to me. And thank you ever so much for the questions. I love them coming in. You can reach me at admin@marshalsobservability.com or alan@marshalsobservability.com. Send them in. If you are reading this as a newsletter, then please just push reply. So 2 questions, as always. First one comes from a colleague, Joshi. So thanks for the question, Joshi. And it's, if there's no agreed pattern yet for running agents in ops, how do I let one take real actions without becoming a 3 a.m. liability? Okay, that's lucky, because I think we've really just answered that above. And it's, like I said, it's blast radius. You do not need the industry to hand you a pattern. And this is the thing that we always lean on, whether it's ITIL or something like that. They should just be guidelines, right? And if you wait for one, you're going to be waiting for a long time. So the pattern is exactly what we just walked through. Start the agent in read only, let it investigate, let it correlate, let it draft a fix. That's all an upside, no danger. Then let it actually act only where the worst case is cheap and reversible, low blast radius. Let it run, high blast radius. A human needs to be in the gate somewhere every single time. And whenever it does, log it. It should log things end to end. Dora says that now. So you can replay the whole conversation afterwards, especially with an agent. Okay, I cannot stress this enough. So no, there isn't any agreed pattern, my friend. That's fine. Agree your own. Write it down. Hold the line. There is, it's all yours. A question from Daryl at Daryl321. Who is actually on call for AI agents? When a service breaks, there is a run book, an owner, and a log. How do you manage enterprise agents sprawl in the same way? To be fair, this is the question that we're all about to trip over. So it's a really good one. The answer is simple to say, but almost impossible to do. You treat every agent like a service, because that is actually what it's become. If it can act on production, then it gets the same thing every service gets: a named owner, a runbook, a log. You can replay. No agent goes live without a human who answers for it. And I think that's where a lot of people are mistaken. They think they can just stick these things in and then just hand it over to production support. The production support guys must be coming back and saying, look, this is not right, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to be called when the agent does something seriously wrong. And on the sprawl part, the bit where suddenly there's 40 of these things running and nobody can list them, that's not an agent problem. That's just an inventory problem. If you cannot name every agent that can touch production, and the person who owns each one, like I said, have a list, especially if it's high, especially if these agents are touching something with a high blast radius, should always have a physical owner, like a person owning it. So go make the list, because an agent without an owner is just an outage without a schedule. I love that bit. An outage without a schedule. So that's it for this week. Thank you for listening. You've all been really supportive. I'm here for anybody who wants to chat. Just go to the website, masterobservability.com. You'll find me there. Stick a free 45 minutes in my diary. I'm happy to talk to anybody. This is how this whole community has been built over the last 2 years, and it's really grown strong. I mention the book every week. I've had some great comments. You can get free chapters on Amazon and on the website. And please, if you really do like this and you really find it useful, whatever platform you're on, subscribe to it, send it to your friends, forward it on social media. I really do appreciate it. So that's it. Keep safe. More signal soon.